Hola, tudo bem? ¿Cómo estás? Hello. Konnichiwa. What it do? So, I myself am never, ever, ever against a good rant. A good rant is good for the soul. Let all that hurt out in the best rant you can give. Everybody that actually knows me personally knows I am not above a rant. You just tell me how much time you have, and I'll try to only go 5 minutes over that. I promise. 5 minutes. That's the best I can do. Once you start cooking, you gotta cook, ladies and gentlemen. Once you start cooking, you gotta cook. Whatever you're cooking, you cook it until it's done. And you know who else agrees with that? Sir Charles Barkley! Up in the house. Charles Barkley is one of my favorite people, but also annoys me at times. So, like, for example, when they were saying that stuff about Kyrie Irving, I love Shaq and Charles, and I was mad. I'm a Kyrie guy. I think that Kyrie, there's so much to the man, and at a time previously, before I ever jumped on the mic, for this at least, I used to do the mic for other stuff, but on the mic to spread my sports love, Kyrie was going through a lot, and I thought Shaq and Charles and them, they kind of let him down. I really felt like they let him down, and it hurt me to see it. They chose other people over him. And I'm not even talking about a color thing. You know, it's not just about the color. I thought it was right and wrong, and I thought a lot of people wronged Kyrie Irving, and I didn't appreciate it. But like the Bible says, you forgive people. You forgive people, I forgive them. I do think there's more good in Charles Barkley and definitely in Shaq. Shaq is very grateful and a good guy, it seems like. But I think there's more good to them than there is bad. And in this case, this is another example of where I truly, vehemently agree with Charles Barkley. He goes on a glorious rant, emphasis on the word glorious, and puts a lot of people in their place. And I could not have said it better myself, how much I relate to this. And I'm just going to leave this thought before we get into what he's going to say. Just keep this in mind as we're listening. A lot of people will tell you, why do you talk about the Lakers so much? And I'm a Laker fan, mind you. And it's different now that we have LeBron on the team. It's gone in a direction that even makes me a little sick. And why do they always talk about, Steph and the Warriors? Why do they always talk about KD? They ain't talking about the Suns because the Suns suck. But why are they always talking about KD? And I agree. The Cavaliers are having a great season, and I haven't talked about the Cavaliers on here yet. And I told somebody else that asked me, one of my friends, he was like, yo, why aren't you talking about this? Why aren't you talking about that? And I said, I got to take out some trash first. And every time I feel like I'm done taking out the trash, somebody got something to say, like Charles Barkley. And you can't miss stuff like this. This is big time news. You got to say something about it. So I'm going to get to it. I have done some Shea Gildress stuff because, OKC is balling. I've done a little bit of Tatum stuff. I have not yet done no Don Mitchell, Cleveland Cavalier stuff. And I definitely want to get to that. But Charles is going to speak on that. We need to start talking about these people. And networks like ESPN, all they want to do is push the same narratives and legendas over and over and over again. And it's not just the legenda. It's the Stephenja also. That's kind of corny. I don't like it. But you know what I mean. And the KD agenda, I won't even try to make that work. It's just the same guys over and over again. And fine. There's nothing wrong with saying these guys are great. But how many years do we have to continue when they're not at the top? Now, the Lakers are second, but they weren't. They had 2 good weeks, and Charles Barkley's going to get into that now. So let's let my man Charles cook. Cocinar in Espanol. Let him go.
Let me tell y'all something.
Tell me something.
And first of all, I want all the smoke. I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard or anything like that.
I don't whistle when I walk by the graveyard.
Right.
I like that.
Hey,
one.
man,
I'm stealing that one.
The Lakers are doing great. Got a long way to go. But the reason the season's been going great for the Cleveland Cavaliers and the Oklahoma City Thunder. Y'all just want to talk about the Warriors and the Lakers. They're both doing great. Don't get me wrong. If I turn out to be wrong, I got no problem with that.
I just want to jump in real quick and say Charles Barkley doesn't whistle when he walks by the graveyard, so that boy don't whistle. Let's continue.
But y'all are idiots because y'all talk about the Lakers and the Warriors all the time. Y'all don't. The Cleveland Cavaliers have won 12 straight games. The Oklahoma City got the MVP and they are on fire. Y'all are talking about who's in second place. That's the reason I get pissed. Hey, the Lakers are doing great. I don't mind being wrong. The Warriors are doing great. But Oklahoma City and the Cavs been balling for 6 months.
Again, Charles Barkley ain't never lied, man. I've been saying this. People talk about all the time. This new thing is like, oh, what is people going to do when LeBron James is gone? Who are they going to talk about? What are they going to do? Guess what, man? Hopefully everything will turn back to reality and people will be normal again. This James love has actually made people unhinged. It's made people on both sides, whether you like them or you don't like them. I'll admit, it's unhinged me. I'm not his biggest fan at all. But it has unhinged me because I can't have normal conversations with people without them getting offended anymore. Everybody gets mad. LeBron James makes a lot of decisions that rub people the wrong way, and you're automatically going to have people on one side versus the other. I think there's more people on the side of, we don't have time for this. Why are we even talking about him? But his fans are super loud and super intense about every single thing. And they always protect him for the most part. It's very rare to see people step out of their normal comfort zone and say he did something wrong. Now, I've seen it, and people do it, but it's not normal. And that's what Charles Barkley's talking about. We can't talk about anybody else. But again, he also mentions the Warriors, right? They're another one. I like Steph, but at the end of the day, until recently, the Warriors weren't going anywhere. Why are they on TV so much? Why are we always talking about them? Why don't I see more stuff about Shai Gilgeous-Alexander? I love the way, some people call it corny and cheesy, but again, I've said in some of my other videos, I'm corny. So I like the way he moves as far as him and his friends. Their team is super tight. Like a new person interviews every night and he just walks off and then they walk back and then they do other little stupid things. I wish I do have a brotherhood like that. I got good people around me. But I don't know if we get to have this much fun like they be having on a regular basis every night, every day, whenever they're practicing, they get to have that much fun all the time. That looks like fun. But we don't talk about that. I have never really watched the Cavaliers on regular TV. I got to find another way to watch them. Like, you don't hear nothing about Donovan Mitchell and the MVP like rankings. Nothing. You don't hear nothing about Tatum and Brown really, other than, oh yeah, they're just winning. Now the Tatum and Brown thing is a little bit deeper, and I might discuss that in another video. They're hated. Like, they actually hate those guys. The NBA hates them, which is wild. That the NBA can hate the Celtics, one of the cornerstones of the NBA. But I think it's real hate right there, because that don't make no sense either. But it's time to raise up these other people. You would think Giannis died. Jeez, man. Is Giannis dead? Is Joker still alive? My goodness. The only time ESPN talks about Joker is when Kendrick Perkins wants to make fun of the fact that Joker's white. And that's why he gets his accolades. Outside of that, you don't ever hear nothing about Joker, especially from no Kendrick Perkins. They don't say nothing about Joker. They don't say nothing really about Giannis. Like Barkley said, they just want to talk about a few people all the time. It's lazy. It is lazy. And it's just for ratings. And it's unnatural and not real. And it's messed up the game. It's messed up everything. There's no balance. As a Laker fan growing up, Kobe Bryant and Shaq were my people. Then it was, I always still love Shaq, but Shaq wasn't there no more. And Kobe was there. But it wasn't this overly over-the-top love for just Kobe Bryant all the time. Allen Iverson was in the league. A lot of my boys were obsessed with AI, and that's cool. I respected it. You know, I didn't have a problem with it. They talked a lot about AI. They talked a lot about the Sacramento Kings when they had Chris Webber and them boys. They talked a lot about T-Mac. They talked a lot about Vince Carter. They talked a lot about Jason Kidd. They talked a lot about Amari Stoudemire and Melo and other people. But then all of a sudden one day it just became about the same players over and over and over again and the same teams. And it sucks. It's sickening. It's annoying. Charles is right. Let's let him finish.
Y'all talking about teams that had two great weeks.
Time out. I get what you're saying. You just went at the whole network.
They talk about the same
the whole
stuff.
industry.
Whole industry.
They talk about the same stuff every single day.
I would have to, but you know, there's
Is there some credit? Is there some credit to be handed out here?
Yes. But don't say basketball's only watching now.
And so Charles is still cooking. He's still right. The Lakers and the Warriors have been really good for the last 2 weeks, and I'm talking really good. The Warriors have lost one game, and that's because Jimmy Butler sat out. They're doing really good, like much better than I expected. I expected them to be way worse than the Lakers, but they're actually playing really well. The Lakers are balling. They keep winning too. There's nothing you could take away from them. They're really balling. But at the end of the day, even as a Laker fan, you might say, well, Jay Boyks, why does that bother you that they keep talking about them all the time? Because it's about fairness, man. At a certain point, it's about fairness and equality. And everybody talks about fairness and equality until you have the opportunity to actually show some fairness and equality. But then you don't want to live up to that. Because when it's benefiting you, I'm a Laker fan. When it's benefiting me and my Lakers, all of a sudden, I don't have to worry about the stuff I was just preaching on the other side. I'm not a hypocrite. It is too much. It's like they were sitting around waiting, and they drag everything they can about the Warriors and the Lakers, everything they can, every little tiny bit of a story to try and make it something. And the thing is, especially with the Warriors, you really got to scratch and claw to do that because Steph don't be saying nothing crazy. It's really Draymond. So they're living off of, Mongoose Draymond and his wild shenanigans, his Superman crotch punches. His spinning back lariat chokeholds on chokehold wee-wees on French people. Like, I mean, you're living off that just so you could put the Warriors in the spotlight so you could show Steph Curry shoot some threes. Now, again, yes, Steph Curry, LeBron James, two of the best players of all time. But geez Louise, there are other people in the league, and they're older. How long do they get to have the spotlight when they're not even at the top as far as team-wise success? And even their stories are not that great. We're not talking about, let's talk about how did the Thunder come to be? How is this Cavalier team on pace to win 60-something games out of nowhere with Donovan Mitchell as their leader? But we'll never know because we're too busy kissing the backsides of the Warriors and the Lakers. Let's let him. I think this is the final part. Let's let him finish all his entire thoughts.
First of all, between that and this lame LeBron Michael Jordan debate, which is lame. I've said it for years. The only people talk about LeBron and Michael is people on television who got no talent to talk about anything else. I've been saying that for years. I ain't hanging on to the 90s. I've always said LeBron's great, Michael's great. But y'all talk about it all the time and then got LeBron out there posing, talking about he all mad about being the face of the league. But it makes me mad. The Oklahoma City and the Cleveland Cavaliers are the two best stories in the NBA this year. Congratulations to the Lakers and the Warriors. They've had 2 good weeks. The Cavs and OKC have had 6 great months.
Okay. Tell us how you really feel.
All right.
Yeah, Shaq. Tell us
birthday
how you feel.
man. All right. Is this one of your favorite rants of all time?
Yes, it is. Thank you. I needed it on my birthday.
So, rant over from Charles Barkley. He also mentioned at the end there, like, people keep using the LeBron and the LeBron and Michael Jordan argument over and over and over again. At the end of the day, my personal thoughts, there is no argument. There's no argument between LeBron and Jordan because I personally don't have LeBron at the top of my list. I don't think he's anywhere near Michael Jordan. I think to be near Michael Jordan, you got to be closer to Magic, Kareem, Kobe, and guys like that, Tim Duncan. And I don't think he's past those guys, in my personal opinion. And I have reasons for that. I'm not trying to get into that right now because that's not really what this is about. Although it is kind of about that. Like, they're constantly comparing. They're the ones that make the comparison. A lot of people out there nowadays are the people making this comparison to Michael Jordan. I've never heard Michael Jordan say anything on the subject. I've only ever heard other people in LeBron's camp that he pays come out and say these things and make this a competition that's unnecessary. But all this stuff, it's just the same old every day. Why do we have to? He is right about that. Like having the same conversation every day. Have a new conversation. You can't. We never had again, this is not just a straight attack LeBron, but when did we ever have a real LeBron versus Kobe debate in the media? A real one. I'm not talking about some, Kobe had Shaq, so he can't be at the top. Or Kobe is too much like Mike. He copied Mike. Hey, newsflash. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar and Magic had each other. Did anybody complain? Larry Bird had Kevin McHale, Robert Parrish, and all the guys they had. Did anybody complain about that? LeBron James has played with Dwayne Wade, Chris Bosh, Kevin Love, Kyrie Irving, playing with Luka Doncic now, played with AD. He's played with a lot of people in the league. Played with Derrick Rose. He played with like half of the people in one of his All-Star pictures. More than half. Has anybody complained about that? I never heard anybody complain. Never heard anybody complain about that. And newsflash again, everybody copied Michael Jordan. But you know what? Michael Jordan copied Jerry West. He copied David Thompson. He copied parts of Dr. J. I'm sure of it. So the only person that can't copy somebody is Kobe Bryant. So that's where these arguments become weird. Have we ever compared LeBron James to Tim Duncan and shown a difference there? Have we ever compared LeBron James to Shaq? I'm going to do you a better one. If you check out my video talking about the 16-6, when people say, oh, LeBron won 16 and Kobe only won 6, I go and break that whole thing down and compare LeBron to all his peers. And guess what? It's not as, if you're somebody that thinks he was just dominating people, like Tim Duncan did, like Kobe Bryant did, like Magic and Kareem did, like Bird did, like Jordan did, he didn't. People like Steph Curry, who a lot of people try to leave out, was on his behind. You understand? On it. On it, like a fat kid on cake, right? Yum, 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 yum. More ice cream, please. That was Curry on LeBron. But somehow we jump all the way up to Jordan. And see, that is a problem to me. So I would have, at this point, I would like to have the comparisons all around. And not just LeBron. Compare Michael Jordan to Steph Curry. Do a real comparison of Kobe versus Mike. Kareem versus Mike. But nobody wants to talk about that. They just want to talk about Jordan and Bron every day. And to me, there's no real comparison that needs to be had there. Compare LeBron to Joker. Compare LeBron to Kawhi Leonard. Actually, not Kawhi Leonard. He's not there. Sorry about that. Sorry, LeBron. I didn't mean to do that to you. But there's other people. Compare LeBron's best runs to the best runs of Hakeem Olajuwon. Because this Jordan thing is getting old and it's corny, man. It's corny. And Charles Barkley was right about that. So I just wanted to go over this briefly. Charles broke it down. Charles Barkley doesn't whistle, apparently, in the graveyard. By the way, that is a crazy saying that it took me a minute to kind of realize what he was saying. But if you ever seen a movie when somebody's in a graveyard, they're like whistling to try and like calm the fact that they're around a bunch of potentially undead people that are dead, you know, like zombies. So that actually is a funny expression when you think about it. I don't know where he got that from, but I had to think about it for a second. But it's kind of dope. He just walks right through the graveyard, stone cold, you know. Get him a Austin 316 jacket and let him cook. So thank you guys for listening to this one. This was interesting from Sir Charles. Sir Charles is one of the greats, one of the all-time greats. And he's one of the all-time greats on TV too, man. And like I said, there's things I didn't like that Charles has done. I don't love everything that anybody's done. I don't love everything that I've done in my life. I need to do better. I still make a lot of mistakes and sin every day. So whenever I can stop sinning, then I can cast the first stone onto other people that make mistakes. So thank you very much for listening to the J-Boy Sports Podcast. I appreciate all of you. Thank you to take your humble time and spare it on me for a little bit. So y'all take care. Much love. That somehow you never get over